to you live from Parliament, where this morning the members of Parliament approved the statutory instrument that will somehow sort the crisis that the country has been in, and that is the term of office of the local council, 1 chairpersons, and local council, 2 members, whose term elapsed on 10th of July, and therefore we have been having that vacuum, and so members of Parliament deemed it fit to see to it that this period is extended. The Ministry of Government, the Ministry of Local Government, requested for a 6-month extension, that is 180 days, and members of Parliament were told that within that period the elections will be conducted. So the minister is expected to provide a work plan that will be gazetted, spelling out when these elections will be conducted. Of course, there was a fierce contestation from the side of the opposition members of Parliament, who were saying that amending the law was not required, but it simply required a resolution of Parliament to have the term of the councils extended. Because if you look at the provisions of the law that they were quoting, is an area which was talking about emergency or state of war as being the only field when this term of office can be extended. However, I'm here with a few members of Parliament who are going to give us their view about how the whole exercise was conducted. Good afternoon, Chairperson of the Legal Committee.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this morning you approved the extension to the term of office for our local councils, the administrative units. Would you say that the procedure, the necessary process that is required was followed by Parliament?
Yes, indeed, because it was justified under the Local Government Act and under the schedule thereunder. And there's nothing wrong with the minister amending a schedule, which is what he did. And looking at the situation in the country right now, it is only right, it is fit and proper that we should have this amendment. We all need it. Things are failing to happen in our constituencies regarding passports, land, disputes and all that. And so what he did was to ask for an extension of the term, and then they are going to validate what has been done from 10th July. But everything is okay.
There was that argument which was being fronted by Honorable Mpuga, where he says that, and the Asuman also alluded to the same, that the extension can only be under a state of emergency. In this case, we are not in a state of emergency or war, and therefore they were saying that part should be eliminated, but Parliament did not deem it fit.
No, he looked at the Constitution and got his words from the Constitution. We are not in a state of emergency. We are not in a state of war. And so what he used was okay. It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then some people have raised the fears that the same tomorrow we could hear members of Parliament also saying we cannot have elections because of ABCD, and therefore we should have an extension. Is that going to be the case? Aren't you fearful that it could turn out?
No, I think people have to have a level of trust in ministers and in legislators. Sometimes I think maybe members want to say a lot before the cameras. You people are the ones who cause problems sometimes for the members. But what was done is legally okay. There should be no worry.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Wakojo. Also, Honorable Shami Malende, are you in agreement? I saw you standing out, fiercely. You wanted to say something on the floor of the House. Were you in agreement with what was done?
First and foremost, the world looks at Parliament as a lawmaking organ, and we must be seen to do things that are legal. My contention basically is on Article 1, Clause 4 of the Constitution, which means that the public should remain with the sovereignty to vote for their leaders and elect them. In this case, when the statutory instrument has been approved, which gives the minister power to extend the term of office, it means that it takes away the sovereignty of the people to elect their leaders every first 5 years as provided for under Article 1, Clause 4 of the Constitution. So what we wanted as the Shadow Justice Minister, what we expected the minister to do is to present a work plan and a plan on how, the elections, when are they going to be conducted, and that is what we expected, not just papers on the floor of Parliament. And I will tell you, for purposes of clarity, it is not that this instrument has given them power, it is just giving the authority for them to extend, but it is not yet finalized even. So they are still going to present another paper somewhere next week without a work plan. So we feel that it is still not solving the problem.
Okay. You have heard from Honorable Shami Malende that this is like taking away the sovereignty of people. But finally, I'm going to hear from the Mbale Industrial Division Member of Parliament, Karim Masaba. Honorable, this morning we have formalized, we can say, the tenure, the LOCs will continue to stay for the next 6 months. But if you can maybe tell the viewer outside there how crucial this was, how was it affecting the people?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to the viewers out there. Yes, what we've done, perhaps it could have been done much better, because laws are meant to be amended, laws are meant to be changed over time. And yes, Parliament, we have that power and authority, but the challenge that I see is giving the minister a blanket check. When you look at the clause that was brought by this statutory instrument, the clause that is giving them power to postpone the elections or not to hold the elections in case there is what they are terming probably being difficult to hold an election. So how is that quantified? That is where the problem is. The quantification of the difficulty in holding an election. Because right now they are talking about the country not having the resources, and we all know that the country has resources. This is something they would plan and hold. They have that loophole under the 3%. The budget gives them to spend and then come back and report to Parliament. So if they really wanted to hold those elections urgently, we would have done it even tomorrow. Because it does not involve printing of ballot papers. This is something that was amended, just lining up and counting, and then the process goes on. So I believe there is a loophole. We've given the minister perhaps much more powers, because tomorrow they may still decide and say, we have difficulties, the minister is traveling. So how do we quantify that difficulty? But yes, this matter needed to be resolved as soon as possible, because we are having challenges. Our people out there cannot go and hold agreements, because they are looking at the legality. Some LC chairpersons handed over their stamps and other instruments, headed papers and all that. So many of our people could not be represented in court, or they could not stand surety in courts because of the loophole that has been there.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us. Of course, you have heard from the members of Parliament. This problem or crisis that we're in has been resolved for now, and for the next 180 days, the LOCs are assured of staying in office, but within the same period, the elections are expected to be conducted. So we shall be waiting for the work plan that the minister talked of gazetting, and possibly it will be available next week. Back to you.